Remember when minivans used to be all the rage? From the 1980s to the 2000s, you had so many minivans. You had the Plymouth Voyager, the Dodge Caravan, the Ford Windstar, they were everywhere. Then came the rise of the SUVs. You have soccer moms now driving humongous Suburbans and Tahoes and Escalades, vehicles that are way bigger than anyone should ever need. What for? What's the reason that you would need a huge truck that gets 10 miles per gallon just to take your kids to swim practice? You might say, oh, I need more space for my stuff, or oh, I need more space for my kids. And that is exactly why minivans were built. And in this video, allow me to convince you why you should save your money and why a perfectly great van like the Honda Odyssey can suit your needs. I rented this van because I had to take some family and friends from Austin to Houston and thought that I should find out for myself what a van's really like. Almost nobody makes vans these days. Honda is one of the last few manufacturers making them, and let me tell you, they actually make a really great vehicle. But if you have a big family and you want to save some money, then it doesn't get much better than the Honda Odyssey. Now minivans are so uncool, nobody would want to caught dead in one of these. Remember, there was a time when minivans were extremely popular and people loved the utility of them. And I intend to bring it back from the edge of death. As you can see, I'm pulled over in the middle of some random parking lot somewhere in Houston. And what I can tell you is after having driven this a couple hundred miles, this Odyssey is nothing short of amazing. Let's get one thing clear. I did not rent this vehicle to be an amazing hot rod, so don't expect anything in terms of providing an enjoyable driving experience. But considering what this is, a van that's a people hauler that can store a lot of stuff, this actually doesn't handle that bad. This van feels like you're driving in an ordinary SUV, nothing special, but you might think with a van the handling would be a lot worse, but it really isn't. The power in this Odyssey is fine, and with sport mode, you get a little bit more oomph, which is helpful on the freeways, gives you just a little bit extra passing power. But this Odyssey cruises along on freeways just fine, giving you confidence. It's comfortable, it's stable. At least with the Odyssey, you're in good hands. The funny thing about this minivan is it's got paddle shifters, which I have no idea why you would use it. In fact, I would recommend not using it because this engine under load already sounds pretty tortured. With the paddle shifter, it's a whole lot worse. So just keep it in sport mode, drive it around normally, and you'll be fine. What this van provides is a lot of comfort and a lot of space, and it does it in a very quiet manner. The ride is very smooth, and more than enjoying the driving experience, your passengers are going to be really happy because there's so much room in here. If you have kids and have to load a lot of car seats in and out of this, having the sliding door makes it so simple. The power sliding door is really nice that you can just easily access via the remote. Having this button right here is very convenient to just close the door automatically. You have a complete pass-through, and if you have to park in a tight spot, you don't have to worry about room for your doors. You just slide these things open and have access to the big, enormous interior. You could get a ginormous SUV, but don't forget, having those doors can get in the way, especially if you're trying to move stuff in and out of the thing. The van is perfect for just tossing your things in there. Forget about organization, take your junk and just throw it in there. In the driver's seat, you can sit up as high as you'd like, 10 feet off the road, or pretend that it's a car and be much lower. When you're driving this, you don't really notice it's a van. It's just like any other SUVs. Of course, nothing about it is sporty, but it's just a normal people utility vehicle. One thing I wish existed in this van was a center console that was up at the arm level so I could rest it. This is quite narrow, and sometimes I just want to relax and have my elbow draped over the center console, but here you don't have that luxury. What's ironic is you have a place to rest your arms in the backseat area. But if you think about it, that makes sense because the driver comes second, passengers come first. You have an armrest for the passenger that folds up, but it's the same problem because your passenger is also going to appreciate a wide center console area to rest their arms. As a driver, you have full control over your doors. You have a couple of switches in the front to control the rear doors. Are your kids acting like brats and not listening to a thing that you're saying? Easy, close the doors. The display screen is a good size. I would have preferred it to be slightly bigger. Besides the front climate control option, you also have the ability to control the temperature in the back and the air conditioning settings. The van is clearly designed for parents because guess what? It's not that easy for kids back here to change the climate because it's not where you would think it would be in the center area. It's actually on top of the right rear door. As the parent, you're in charge of your vehicle. If you're a good kid, I'm gonna lower it to 61. Otherwise, all you get is 63. No matter how big these SUVs get, the third row seating is always a problem. They're never as spacious as they should be, and typically they're unusable. The van, on the other hand, is specifically designed for amazing third row seats. It's very easy to get back there. Just pull on this lever and climb back in there. And when you make your way back here, you're gonna have plenty of room even when the seat is all the way back. You also have your own AC vents and a power outlet. The middle seat is also pretty usable. And that's the beauty of minivans, is you could have 8 people transported in relative comfort over long distances. Or if you don't need that much seating in the van, just put the third row seats down and use it for extra storage space. Even with the third seat up, you can fit so much stuff back here like humans. If the third seat is really bothering you, pull it all the way. I think it just comes right out. Actually, it does. You can completely put the seat away. With all the seats gone, you not only have a people hauler, you also have a truck. As a passenger, you can move your seat forward or back, recline it, get really comfortable for long drives. In this van, you have an insane number of cup holders all over, in the front and the back, everywhere you can think of. Have I convinced you yet that vans are in fact incredible? Except for one thing, of course. It looks like, well, a van. Unfortunately, no amount of body molding or curves or angles or anything that they do with the look of the van is actually gonna change it. It will always remain a van. Sure, you might not be the coolest soccer mom to have ever lived if you pull up in a van like this, but guess what? You have an incredibly versatile machine, so configurable, perfect for the family, perfect for the kids, and you're saving so much money. You're not spending $100,000 on a Tahoe or a Suburban. You could get a really nice Honda Odyssey for $40,000 or even cheaper if you buy it used. And so you will have been the smartest soccer mom to have ever lived. Who's got the last laugh now?